Hey everybody, in this video I'll be discussing the Capricorn full moon on July the 10th, 2025. A full moon signifies a time of culmination, of revelations, or emotional peaks, a time when something comes to light, is revealed, reaches fulfillment, or demands release. Clarity and insight. Situations that were hidden and unclear become visible. Projects, relationships often reach a turning point. It is often an ideal time for letting go of habits, of beliefs, of people. This full moon is in Capricorn, opposite the sun in Cancer. So it is the Capricorn of ambition, business, pragmatic, goal-oriented, versus Cancer being more more nurturing, family, the private life. So this full moon in general, every year in Capricorn, it's ambition versus nurturing, public versus the private life. The Capricorn full moon highlights deep emotional needs. That's the fullness of the moon or the sun in a nurturing Cancer, versus Capricorn that wants structure, that wants purpose. Now, Jupiter, which is now in exalted Cancer for the next year, Jupiter is in Cancer, supporting the sun in Cancer. Jupiter will amplify optimism, generosity, family matters, homeland matters. So there's a lot of hopefulness, which goes along with a very powerful, rare planetary event that's taking shape with this full moon that I discussed in my August forecast, that is going to continue unfolding into August and September, just setting the stage for some really breakthrough moments of visionary ideas, innovation. What I'm talking about is liberating technological progressive Uranus, now in Gemini for the past couple of weeks. Gemini is all this communications, Uranus is all this breakthrough energies, but Uranus in Gemini will be trining the best flow of energy to Pluto, transformational, powerful Pluto in Aquarius. They're both air signs, and both of these, Uranus and Pluto, will be sextiling, that's a 60-degree angle of positive opportunities, to Saturn and Neptune conjunction. And this signifies a breakthrough moment, innovative, visionary ideas, that's the Uranus, Pluto, and air signs, are grounded in long-term creative structures. That's the Saturn-Neptune. This rare synergy can manifest as a collective shift for the world in thinking, tech innovation, and restructuring ideals into reality. It's ideal for manifesting your dreams and vision through planning. That Uranus trine Pluto, both sextiling Saturn, Neptune, is the beginning of a big shift of ideals and consciousness. Venus, the planet of love, creativity, and harmony, Venus will be in Gemini at 6 degrees. The Uranus is 0 degrees of Gemini, so it's close enough. And so the Venus to the Uranus is going to bring surprises and sudden awakenings of love, beauty, finances, because Venus is also a planet that likes the finer things in life. It's also one of the rulers of Taurus, which is why it brings in the financial area. Attractions may suddenly spark, and preferences may shift suddenly, especially in intellectual or communication dynamics. Also, Venus, creative, harmonious, cooperative Venus, will be sextiling, that's positive opportunities, to communication Mercury. Ideas and affections flow more easily, encouraging lively conversations. This is great for not only talking about more comfortably your feelings and love, but Mercury is the communicator. So Venus can be the arts. This is very favorable for creative writing, singing, acting, designing. But the Venus is also squaring, that's a 90-degree angle of tension and friction to Mars. This is, expect tensions, Venus-Mars, between desire, Venus, and your sense of duty, that Mars in Virgo, or tension between pleasure and practicality. Venus square Mars can trigger these sudden infatuations that go hot and cold because it's so kind of unstable energies. There might be tensions in relationships over money matters, over intimacy matters. But first, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. In summary, this Capricorn full moon is going to bring a defining moment, a peak moment of emotional maturity and long-term focus, supported by very expansive stabilizing aspects. Dynamic mental energies, sudden attractions, creative restructuring are all possible. In general, full moons often test relationships, partnerships, contracts. That is because the moon is opposite the sun. Opposite is relationships, opposites interacting with others. The sun is you versus others. That's the moon. So in general, a full moon is going to test relationships, especially if the full moon is aspecting your Venus, planet of love and desire, your emotional moon, or the cusp of the 7th house of relationships. Now, this full moon, when it's testing relationships, it's usually when it's resolving unresolved emotions, anything that's been hidden that needs to come to the surface to be resolved or to let go. Because a full moon amplifies emotional energies and symbolizing a culmination or a climax, it often acts as a spotlight illuminating what's working in your partnership and what's not working. So I would say a lot of people, because the full moon is in Capricorn, two things. Capricorn can more focus on business relationships, and you get to see what's working and not working and bringing it all to a head over this next week or two after the full moon begins. But it also, the Capricorn wants stability, longevity. So you could really be bringing up these feelings is, does this relationship, whether it's business, certainly, your significant other, your spouse, are you feeling secure for the long term, or are you feeling insecure? And it's a time to bring all these matters to light, to start resolving them, or perhaps starting to let go. I now want to look at what this full moon is highlighting, what is bringing to an emotional peak for each of the 12 signs. For Aries, Capricorn is 10 signs past Aries. So this culmination full moon is in your career sector, maybe dealing with your bosses, authority figures, or really coming to the realization it's time to really push your career goals. Taurus, or Taurus rising, Capricorn is 9 signs past Taurus. So what's being illuminated could be long-distance traveling or educational plans or media marketing, because that ninth is higher education and teaching. For Gemini, it's highlighting your 8th house of joint ventures, your partner's monies, your financial obligations. So it could really bring up, especially with Capricorn, which is much more business pragmatic energy, a lot of financial matters. For Cancer, Capricorn is opposite Cancer. And so it's bringing a lot of relationship matters, partnership matters. And when I talked about how a full moon can test relationships, for many Cancers, this can be a breakthrough positive, because Jupiter, exalted Jupiter, is transiting through Cancer, and the full moon is shining in your 7th house of relationships. Leo, the Capricorn full moon is bringing to light matters with your health. Is it time to start, getting back to exercising, eating right, getting medical checkups? Or it can also be your job. Is it time to start looking for another job? It's starting your own business, focusing on learning new job skills. Virgo, the Capricorn is 5 signs past Capricorn. They're both earthy, compatible signs. So the Capricorn full moon is highlighting Virgo's 5th house of romance, pleasure, creativity, parties. Libra, Capricorn is highlighting the 4th sector, because it's 4 signs past Libra. The 4th is home and family and property. Could bring in some big events with reunions and weddings. There might be a lot of focus on property and real estate. Scorpio, it's in your 3rd of selling and learning and marketing. And for Sagittarius, the Capricorn is the 2nd sign past Sagittarius. The 2nd sector represents your income, your personal finances. And so that pragmatic, business-oriented Capricorn full moon in your 2nd house of income, that full moon and over those coming weeks could really bring into focus a lot of your financial needs. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next time, be safe and well.